Alright, now getting back into this, we talked about FDR with his New Deal. We're now going to delve into it a little bit more, okay? There are many programs within the New Deal. In fact, the periodical table you're going to see in class that we review with before we actually quiz on the New Deal programs is divided, and you can see how many there are. FDR divided them up, brain trust rather, if you will, and he called them the 3 R's. And no, it's not reduce, reuse, and recycle. It's actually relief, reform, and recovery. Now notice many of his programs combine elements of all 3. So you're not just going to find one that's this, that, and the other. I tried to in the chart that I gave you of the New Deal program say which one's which. So first, what is relief? Relief is money directly to someone or to an organization. In Cinderella Man, if you remember, he goes to the New Jersey Relief Office, Jim Braddock did, to get money to pay his light bill. And sometimes it's not enough. You have to put in other stuff. So that's money directly. The next thing is reform. Now reform is a $10 word for change. FDR believed if something wasn't working, we need to change it. We need to change what we're doing. And lastly, recovery. Through the Depression, the banking system failed, businesses failed, and he wants to get them back on their feet and recover. As I said, they kind of blend in, they go different ways, all right? Now, FDR had a New Deal, and you can tell here we have the inaugural address, protection of gold. The first thing he really wants to go after is banks, and he wants to get people's confidence back in the banks. We'll talk how that works in the next video here. Now, a lot of these New Deal programs, we abbreviate by letters, and so for that reason they call them alphabetized agencies. They'll call them alphabet soup of FDR. There's AAA, there's WPA, there's NYA, there's FDIC, SEC, not Southeastern Conference, stands for something else. And so alphabetized agency is just a way to kind of talk about his programs, okay? Now FDR, besides being a proactive president, is a very vocal president. He liked to have his voice heard. He liked to be there. Now he is not the first president to actually, go and give speeches on a public thing. Coolidge actually recorded his speeches first so that people could see him and hear him. However, FDR did it on a much more consistent basis. He called them fireside chats. The general mentality is that the family would gather around the fireplace, which is how houses had. They would have a radio, they would turn it on, and they would hear FDR's voice. And what he did, he used fireside chats for a couple of things. Number one, it was to instill a sense of security amongst the American people. This is your president. I'm not hiding out. I'm not doing this. Here's what I'm trying to do. Number two, he would try to kind of garner support for the New Deal, get people excited. And so he did this through this medium. It is no different than somebody with a State of the Union address today. Now, one of the things he decided is he starts pushing through Congress and getting the idea rolling that Prohibition needed to end. So the 21st Amendment is passed, which officially ended Prohibition. This is an important thing because it shows us that the Constitution is a living document. What that means is we don't just hang it up on our wall and never use it. We use the document as society changes. The Constitution can change as well through amendments. And so the way to remember this is the 18th. A lot of people think they can drink when they're 18, and that is wrong. It is when you're 21, and it has to do with alcohol. So 21st repealed or got rid of the 18th Amendment, and as some people said, the good old days are back again. Now, another really important thing about relief is the relief programs relied heavy on what they call dole payments. Dole payments just basically mean they're going to give them in kind of a lump sum, and that's all you get. If you notice, Jim Braddock, when he went to the relief office, they gave him the money right then. They didn't say, we're going to give you $20 now or $20 later. This is what we can give you, and we can give it to you right now. Now, it does rely a lot on relief that you give the money back, as Jim Braddock did, and we can talk about that later on. Now right here, I just need you to understand the 3 R's of the New Deal. Why do we have relief, recovery, and reform? And just remember those things there, all right? We'll talk about the last little bit here in a second.